Hi everybody, welcome back to Storytime here at Belgrade Public Library. This is our second story time and we're going to continue the stories connected with trees since they are such a major part of our surroundings here in Belgrade, and also we see such changes happening all around us with the trees. So I have two stories as per usual, and this one is a classic. I don't know that we necessarily have it in the library, but we will happily in our library loan it. It's called The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. That's our first story. Our second story is a wonderful story called The Little Tree by Loren Long. So here we go, and if you remember last week, we had our bell to tell us to get ready. So it's a quieter bell this time because last time it was a little loud. Ready? Yeah, you ready? Here we go. Okay. The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. Well, I should tell you on the cover. Is a little boy and he's waiting for the tree to give him an apple. Once there was a tree, and she loved a little boy. Now over in this corner, here comes the little boy's foot, and the tree's leaning over to greet the little boy. And every day, the boy would come and see how excited he is. He wants to be with the tree. And look what the tree's doing. The tree's like reaching out its leaves like arms. And he would gather her leaves, just like in your yard right now, the leaves falling. He's got her leaves right there. And make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He's looking very fancy. He has his nose up with his crown and he's pretending he's the king. And he would climb up her trunk. So here's his little feet, here's his little hands. Oh, his shoes are back on the ground. They're having a great time. And swing from her branches. So you can't see him, but here's his little feet right there. And eat apples. 1, 2, apples so far. And they would play hide and go seek. So little boy's hiding behind the rocks. He's got a big smile on his face. The tree's pointing to where he is. The tree already knows. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. Here's the little boy having his nap. The apple cores over here. They're happy. And the boy loved the tree. And the boy's giving the tree a big hug, and the tree's limbs are coming down with its branches and wrapping right around the little boy. Very much. And the tree was happy, and in the tree, he's carved a heart, and it says, me and tea for the tree. He's smiling, the tree seems happy. But time went by. Now if you notice, he's not little anymore, he's getting bigger. And instead of his big smiley face, he's like not so smiley right now, a little less. And the boy grew older. Now, this time we have me and T, the carving that was done when he was little. And now we also have me and YL. And now not just the boy's feet, but somebody else's feet are there with him. And the tree was often alone. So the tree looks almost like it's giving itself a hug, but no little boy. Then one day, the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and eat apples and play in my shade and be happy." "I'm too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me some money?" "I'm sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I only have leaves and apples." "Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city, and you'll make money and you'll be happy." So, if you notice, the boy's quite big now. So, the tree lets the boy have the apples. And so the boy climbed up in the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away. And the tree was happy, because the tree's still helping the little boy that the tree loves very much. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy, and she said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy." "I'm too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm," he said, "and I want a wife and I want children, so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house, but you can cut off my branches and build a house, and then you'll be happy." Now, if you notice, the boy has turned to a man. And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And if you look at the tree, now all we have is a trunk. And the tree was happy, because she gave the boy something to be happy about. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered. "Come and play." "I'm too old and sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that'll take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." Now, if you look, the little boy has not just gone to be a man, now he's an older man coming to the tree. And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And all that's left now is just the stump of the tree. And the tree was happy, but not really. After a long time, the boy came again, back again. "I'm sorry, boy," said the tree, "but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone. My teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You cannot swing on them." "I'm too old to swing on branches," said the boy. "My trunk's gone," said the tree. "You can't climb." "I'm too tired to climb," said the boy. "I'm sorry," sighed the tree. "I wish I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I'm just an old stump. I am sorry." "I don't need very much now," said the boy. "Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I'm very tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could, "well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest." And the boy did. And the tree was happy. There's the older man and his friend the tree. The end. Sometimes I've heard people get a little angry when they talk about the boy in this story because they think the boy takes so much from the tree and doesn't give anything back. But I'd like to think this, that the tree gave to the boy what the tree wanted to give to the boy, and the tree was happy to give. And sometimes we love people enough that we just want to make them happy. And so I think this story by Shel Silverstein shows us the importance of respect and love to one another and giving what we can. So, The Giving Tree, Shel Silverstein. All right, our second story today, get ready. Hope that's quieter, we'll see. It's called The Little Tree by Loren Long, as I said when we first started. And if you notice this bright color on the front cover, this tree is doing what the trees are starting to do now around here, right? It's changing its leaves and it's starting to drop the leaves. And let's find out what happens when this tree might not want to give up some of its leaves. Once there was a little tree filled with little leaves. So there's that little same tree. This time the tree has nice green leaves. On the front cover it had like rust colored leaves. Oh, and green grass, so we know it's summertime. Who is surrounded by other little trees. And they're really about the same height if you look, right? We've got squirrels playing, and we've got flowers going on in the grass, and we've got birds who had little leaves of their own. In the heat of a long summer days, little trees' leaves kept him cool. The squirrels would climb up on his branches to play. The mourning dove landed in him and sang her fluty song. The little tree was sure to grow up big and strong. Now watch the change. Autumn arrived, when cool winds filled the air. The wind tickled the little tree as it passed through the branches and ruffled his leaves. The air grew cold and the leaves on all of the trees changed colors, becoming yellow, red, and orange. So just like if I look out this window, I'm seeing the same thing happen, and you probably see this in your yard too. Notice again, all the trees are about the same size. Then one by one, the trees began to drop their leaves, but not Little Tree. He just hugged his leaves tight. So notice, right, the other leaves are willing to let their leaves go because that's the natural course of things, but not the little tree. It's not ready yet. "Hello, little tree," said a squirrel. "You're supposed to drop your leaves now." But Little Tree was unsure. What would he do without his leaves? Winter came. "What are you doing with leaves still on you?" asked the doe. That's the doe right there. Little Tree just hugged his leaves tight. But notice, all the other trees have let all their leaves go during the winter months. Springtime arrived, and the little forest burst into life again. The other trees grew bigger, new leaves. The squirrels played in their branches. Little Tree could hear the mourning dove singing her fluty song. Now notice, look at those trees that were the little tree size, all except one that seemed to be a brand new tree, it looks like. But notice they're getting bigger and fuller leaves But look what's happening to a little tree. The seasons continue to come and go. Little tree, quacked a duckling, your leaves are brown. Are you feeling sick? A fox said, little tree, it's autumn. It's time for you to drop your leaves. You can do it. Ready? 1, 2. But the little tree just hugged his leaves tight. All around, the forest grew and grew. One summer, little tree could no longer feel the sunlight. The squirrels played high above in the broad, tall trees, and the mourning dove sang far away that he could barely hear her fluty song. Now, these trees were those same trees that started with little tree. Look at how big and lush they are, full. But poor little tree, it's not growing at all. Autumn came again. Leaves began to blanket the ground. Little tree looked up to the other trees, at their branches reaching high into the sky. He remembered when the leaves of the trees had all been his size. And then he let go. Okay, so now he's going to see what happens when he decides to change. As his last leaf floated to the ground, for the first time, little tree felt the harsh cold of winter. We know what that feels like here, don't we? But in time, now look what is happening. He's growing just like those other trees. Something happened. Once there was a little tree. We don't see the little tree anymore, do we? Now the tree is big just like all the other trees. And then there's the duck and the birds all walking off. Little Tree by Loren Long. I particularly like this story because all through our lives we're going to have to change. And change is hard. But I have found in my life that when I'm willing to try something new, that's when I get to grow. So when you get a chance, try something new. You'll be surprised how much you'll grow. Perfect. Okay, so in a minute we're going to switch over and we'll show you the craft that goes with this particular set of books. Be right back. Hello again, everybody. So we just finished 2 wonderful stories. One about a tree that wouldn't want to change but then realized the growth was good. And then the other story about giving and receiving. So our craft today, I was playing around with this idea of changing colors of leaves, and I thought, what about a stained glass leaf? Kinda. So in the end, this is my version of that, and in a little bit we'll show you what that looks like up in a window. But in your kit, if you want to come into the library, we have the following things for you. So you will get a pre-cut out maple leaf template, and then an assortment of tissue paper. So I just want to show you how I did this. So I took whatever random colored tissue paper I felt I wanted, and I just took little tiny bits here and there of the tissue paper, and then when I had what I wanted for a look, I took Scotch tape and I taped it so that you can't see the tape on the outside of the leaf, but that it held it tightly inside. Well, that one might bite me. I'll come back after. Let's try that one. You'll get the idea. It will take a little time, and you'll need to work with your big person to get this just right. So you keep going until you get the whole inside covered. At that point, cover it nicely with tape to secure it. And we are going to, for this kit, send one laminate sheet to go to seal up the craft. And what happens when your position is just right, your mom, dad, big brother, sister, whoever's going to help you, Grammy, Grampy, you're going to tear this off. You'll set the leaf down at the very edge, and then you'll fold it over, go really slowly. You'll close it up, and then run your fingers around so that there's no bubbles, and you will have your very own stained glass leaf. Now, the only other thing I did, I got thinking about stained glass, and in stained glass, we have what's called leading. So I used a large Sharpie. You could use any color Sharpie you want, but after I did the laminating, then I went over and traced my individual pieces of tissue paper so that the idea is that it would look like leaded stained glass. And that's it. So in your kit, you'll have your template, you'll have an assortment of tissue paper, you'll have a laminate sheet, and I'm hoping you have some tape at home. Let us know if you're in need of that. And whether you want to use a Sharpie to outline the leaded glass of the tissue paper. Okay? And as always, please either send us a picture of your completed craft or bring it in so we can see it. Great. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.